YouTube. Thank you, Bristol. Appreciate you letting me know you could hear me. All right, guys. So we're in a bear market, man. Let's pull it up. Looks like we're trying to bottom. Um, Looks like we're trying to bottom. Yeah, that song I always play is the kids' cover of 46 and 2 by Tool, but it's the kids from that music school, and they I love it. I love that little girl, man. This is the S&P. The SPY's dropped to 366.17. It's hard to believe, but the RSI is still not extreme on the SPY. We do possibly have an anchor point here. Stocks look a little better. I mean, these anchor points are about exactly the same. So let's move this camera a little bit. So on Instagram, we go live on YouTube too, man. So this is not a bottom. I don't buy here. I'm looking for 4 candles. I'm looking for a bottom to be established. I mean, if you're a buy and holder, I guess you could, but that's not the money flow. We're looking for a bottom. If you look at the MACD histogram, it still shows downward momentum. It hasn't changed yet. The stochastics is still down. That thing can stay down in that zone for a while, just like it can stay up for a while. So everything is still pointing down, man. Everything is still pointing down. Somebody said getting ready to pre-order. Appreciate that. We're editing it now, man. So I've been meaning to put that little ebook out for a minute, but no better time than now. It's all mindset stuff. So good time for mindset stuff is right now. So, maybe this is the anchor point. It's too soon for me to move in. Some stocks that I really, really, really would like to add to here that are on my list. I mean, there's hundreds, but I like Delta. Delta's putting in a doji candle. If you're a candlestick reader right now, what I jokingly call a Jesus cross. These are reversal candles, not 100%, but very often you'll see a cross at tops and bottoms. This one's technically called a hangman. Same concept, but it's on top as on bottom. These are very readable. It just means that buyers and sellers have hit an equilibrium. For every buyer, there's a seller, and there's nothing pushing price up or down. So, very cool. I like Delta. I really like Delta at $29. We're way below. What's up, Dan? We are way below the 200-day on Delta. Delta right now, now, obviously, if we go into recession, that would change over the next few quarters. Sales would go down, but let's just pretend a massive recession. Let's pretend like we don't. Currently, based on right now's revenues, Delta's trading at about 60% undervalued. They haven't reinstated their dividend, so we can't use it as a bread and butter trade, but it is trading way below the 200-day. I really like Delta here. One I've liked for a while. It just continues to be undervalued is Hanes Brands. I'm just surprised how low the stock has gone. So really, really surprises me. Anyway, big, huge dividend. This is another one that's on my list. If you go to thepetersreport.com, in the beginning, I list this week what I'm watching. And I can't add to everything. I mean, I own 67 or 77 stocks. So each week, I add money every week. I'm looking at different stocks. So this week I've been keeping an eye on Hanes Brands, Starbucks, Delta, and Ford. Obviously, I watch Uber and Bitcoin all the time. Those are my 2 big speculative plays. Dow now is down back to a 5% dividend yield. Dow Component Chemical Company, these guys. This is a big down move. Remember, we're waiting for an anchor point to establish a bottom. This is not an anchor point, okay? This is not an anchor point. Meaning, what do we mean by an anchor point? It means we have, think of a boat dropping the anchor. It hits the bottom. We can't call this an anchor point yet. In order for an anchor point to be confirmed, we need 4 days where that low holds, okay? So an example would be over here. That was the anchor. Well, how did we know that? 1, 2, 3, 4 days later, it's still holding. We assume that's the bottom. We start buying, and you see what proceeded to happen. It moved higher. Now, we're combining the concept of anchor points with the 4 stages with this thing up here called the RSI, which stands for the Relative Strength Index. All this measures is the velocity of the move. So think about a velocity in the sense that, let's say you jumped out of an airplane. You're going to start to pick up speed, and then you're just going to hit velocity, like maximum velocity they call it. You just can't go any faster. That's what this is measuring, price movement over 14 days. When it goes extremes, it means over the last 14 days, the average move has been an extreme move compared to the previous 14 days, which if you look at the previous 14 days, it was sideways. So yeah, this is an extreme move. Now, if you notice something, look at what you're seeing right there, right? And what do we see right there? And this is what I tell you all the time. This is how price moves. That doesn't mean I know where price is going. I'm just telling you how it moves. It goes sideways, it runs up, it goes sideways, and it runs down. So as an investor, if I know this is the natural rhythm of price or pattern of price, I don't want to buy up here. I want to buy down here. So that corner right there is what we call the anchor point, okay? That's the anchor. It's anchoring from one stage to the next. So if we're in a stage 4 decline, I'm looking for an anchor point. That could be right there. Now, I don't want to try to buy the bottom because I'm greedy. I am trying to buy the bottom, but I mean, I'm not trying to bottom pick in the sense that I'm not making a bet that today's the lowest. That's where this indicator comes in handy. Created by a guy named Charles Appel in like the 1980s. This measures momentum, much like a stop sign. I mean, you look at a stop sign, a red light turns yellow, you know what's up, right? It's fixing to turn red. This here is the first indicator that'll tell us if this down move is over. And you go, what do you mean? If you look at the histogram, it's going to tick the other way. And what I mean by tick the other way is you see how this one, it went even and then it ticked up and then up and then up. So we can even draw a line on it. You see the momentum's to the downside. What we needed to do is to go this way. And what we're going to look for is the stochastics to come out. And as this forms up, it's going to form this right here, a stage 1. So all this is a couple indicators. I'm looking at 6 things. 3 moving averages, the RSI, I'm looking for support and resistance, and I'm looking at that MACD to give me is the downside momentum over. Now look on Haynes Brands. It's ticked up. There's an example. So as I'm watching this, I'm like, oh shit, is the bottom in? I got an anchor point. I've got 1 day. The MACD ticked to the upside. And then we come over here, we're on an extreme. So check, check, check. There's 6 checks. I can move on 4. Okay, I don't need everything to line up to make a move. And the other one is the 5-day moving average. That's that dotted red line you see. That's just an average of the last week. 5 days is a week. This stuff is fractal. The blue one is 10 days. That's 2 weeks in the trading world. And the green one is 20 days. There's 20 trading days in a month. So when these are numerically aligned, pointing down, that means the momentum is to the downside, and we would turn to this to let us know when that is starting to change. Again, not predictors. I mean, they are predictors, but they're not foolproof, but they make order out of the chaos. That's all I'm trying to do. And I'm doing all of that around this pattern of price movement. So I'm constantly watching it. And I've been talking about this new ebook, man. It's only like 20 something pages. And the reason I made it so short is you have no option but to read it. You can't read 20 pages. So rather than just write on and on and on and on, why don't we just make it right to the point? And then maybe it can help change. And you're going to see some of the philosophy of this, not in trading terms, but you're going to see some of the philosophy of the money flow in that. Let's see. That momentum indicator, this picture of price movement. And you can see it moving, man. Look at this here. You see it? Sideways, up, sideways, down. What we don't know is how far the ups or how far the downs go. But we can look at these indicators to tell us, okay? And those just give us heads up on when shit's about to turn. And if you have my Getting Started with Stock Charts course, I have an entire video on this, entire video on the price. Like when we get into resistance, we were talking about that this morning on my subscription feed here. This is resistance, right? Price hits it and turns, 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 turns. Here's support. Price hits it and bounces up, up, up. And you begin to see this pretty clearly, right? So as you learn support and resistance, it helps you see this. It helps you determine, is this a stage 3 or is price actually breaking down? And it's not perfect science. The more charts you look at and the more and more you do this, the better and better you get at it and the faster you can do it. Let's take a stock like T real quick. Now, notice this. Is this the bottom? Would I buy here? Hell no. Now, it did hit the 200. That's very significant, and I've got more coming out on that, but not right now. It hit the 200 and stopped. But look at these moving averages. What do you see? Down, down, down. Everything's pointing down. What about the MACD? Is it starting to turn? Well, it's flattening. It's flattening, but it hasn't turned, right? It hasn't turned yet. And what about stochastics? Now it hasn't come out either. Hasn't come out either. And so we know this is our first warning. Where's the RSI? 31. So it's not a buy yet, man. It's not a buy yet. It's close. A lot of shit's close. And if you're in the money flow and you're like, man, he ain't sending no text. No, I'm not doing anything. I'm waiting. I'm just waiting, man. What time frame to use? I use a daily, man. What do you live on? My calendar show daily. Now, I know a lot of people like to drop down to a 1 hour. Maybe you go to a 1 minute, man. You're just in there smoking crack on methamphetamines or something, looking at a 1 minute chart. But it is fractal. Now, I want to show you something, man. To show you I'm not making this up. And this is not proprietary. Stage 1, stage 3, right? And then we started to build a 1. We kept going down, though. There's their true 1. If we draw this sideways up, sideways down, sideways up, sideways down, right? What are you seeing? Sideways up, sideways down, sideways. That is the money flow. That is price money flowing. You'll hear me say it's money flowing, or it's not money flowing. When I say it's not money flowing, means it's broken this pattern, and when it does that, it tends to just get all choppy and go sideways. But sometimes if we just look bigger, we'll see it's actually forming a stage. It's just really a wide stage, and those can be a real pain in the ass. And when that happens, I just don't have an opinion. I just watch it. Don't force something to money flow that isn't money flowing. And if you remember a couple weeks ago, we were talking. I was saying, look, AT&T is about to roll over. Now, if you're an investor, all that's letting you know is, hey, man, get your money right because we might get a chance to buy it. We don't want to sell it. Now, if we're a trader, you got to get out right here. If you're trading, this is your last chance to get out. And you say, when was the best time? Well, we know. We always sell into strength. So when the RSI hits 70, that's a signal to a trader, take the trade down. It's gone too far, too fast. Now, you don't want to take the whole damn thing down. Why? Because it can keep going right here. We saw that. What does that tell you? Take profit. So if you're a trader and you're buying the breakout, which is what the money flow teaches, right? The breakout is what? That you saw a stage 1, meaning you had an anchor point, you had 4 days sideways, you formed a box, and then price broke out above that box. It broke out above stage 1. It clearly broke out above the green line, which is the 20-day moving average. You can't miss a breakout. This is a breakout, and they happen in real time. So if we were looking at this, we would have said, oh, stage 2 breakout underway in AT&T. As a trader, I jump on it. As an investor, I'm done. Why? It's not on sale anymore. I want to go look for shit on sale. I want to buy low, maybe sell high, but maybe not. Right? So as an investor, you could buy here, but that you really should have been buying in here. And as you get better and better at this, you'll be able to see these easier. Now, as a trader, when it runs, what do you need to do? Well, we're looking for 2 things. Our targets are always the previous high. You just draw a line across. And when it hits that, you're looking to downsize the trade. Not get out, downsize it. Lower your risk. Lock in some of that gain. But we want to let it run if it keeps running. Now, that's not day trading. That's really not even swing trading. Swing trading is usually 3, 4, 5 days. You know, this is something different. It's a longer form of swing trading. When that RSI goes extreme, I'm looking to downsize the trade. Meaning I want to sell into strength and I want to buy weakness. I want to sell into that. So as it goes higher and higher, I'm downsizing the trade. I want to take more off. When it rolls over, if you go to the money flow, what does it say? Best time for selling. It's the opposite of a stage 2 breakout. the bipolar. Again, back to this new ebook I have. I talk about the polarity of the universe. High tide, low tide, love, hate, dark, light, good, evil. The universe is filled with polarities. This is a polarity. A stage 1 is a 3. The only difference is a 3 came from a move up and a 1 came from a move down, but they're both the same. So if we're looking at AT&T, the up is the down, man. So the RSI will go extreme up, and then it'll go extreme down. Polarity. The down move is the same as the up move. Dual polarity of the universe, man. And you have two sides too. The book's called Two Selves. You have two sides. You have a very negative side. It's probably worried all the time, freaked out, man. Worried. And then you have, every once in a while, you get that side that kicks in. It believes in yourself. Man, I could do anything. I'm 10 foot tall and bulletproof, baby. I could do anything. And then all of a sudden, you got those two sides, that polarity. And if you're not careful, man, it'll drive you crazy, man. But we want to try to swing to. We want to make order of that going on in your head, man. We want to make order out of the chaos that goes on. Same in the charts. Same in the charts. Let's see. So until price stops dropping and we get 4 days sideways, and I really want to see it above this 5-day moving average, that tells me too that we're headed up, man. It tells me we're headed up. All right, man, that's it. I'm going to keep today's short. All these stocks look exactly the same. I got to do a one-on-one. I do these one-on-ones with people, try to help you. Sometimes people just need a second opinion on an idea or life, or they're looking at an investment property, or, just a second move opinion in life, man. I don't know, whatever's on your mind. I like to do them anyway. I got one scheduled for 11, so I got to go talk to some, hopefully, man, help this guy do the right thing. I'm using full stochastics right there, primarily. I'm using full, okay? Now remember, the Money Flow book is one book. It's not the whole damn thing, okay? Like Harry Potter wasn't one book. Star Wars wasn't one TV show. So sometimes people be like, man, that's not even in the book. No shit, that's book 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can't put the whole damn thing in one book, man. This stuff is a lot, man. It takes me like 5 hours to go through the whole money flow if I do it from scratch to finish. So it takes time, man. All right? It takes time. All right, man. You guys be good. I appreciate you. This will be saved on YouTube, by the way. Instagram. This will be saved on YouTube, Instagram. All right? Peace.